This was a fair storm, enough to frighten even the most experienced seamen. They were experts and they knew how to handle a ship in a storm. Still, the strength of the storm caused these men to panic. When I looked and I was studying this, I understand that he didn't just say that, Luke didn't just say it was a storm, and Mark didn't just say it was a storm, but what they said is that it was a windstorm of storms. Now imagine when someone who has been on the water say that it wasn't just a regular storm, but it was one of the strongest storms that I've ever seen. And you may be wise and you may be strong, but there will still be storms in this life that can frighten even the most experienced of people. Even the most seasoned of saints every now and then get nervous. Verse 37, and the waves beat into the ship so that it was now full. The waves kept coming and they continued to pour over into the ship, and there was no sign of letting up. The waves beat into the ship so that it was now full, and it could take no more. And when I begin to think about that, and in the natural, when we have the waves coming in, frustration and failure and disappointment and defeat and letdowns and malfunctions and misfortunes and mishaps and miseries and adversities and afflictions and obstacles and setbacks and hardships. Am I on anybody's street yet? And then there's burdens and there's trials and there's pains and there's complications. And no matter how hard we fight, it seems like bad things keep happening in the life of the saints. Storms are a natural part, and storms are a spiritual part of our lives. And storms come and came into the life of Jesus. According to our text, Jesus and his disciples found themselves in the midst of a ferocious storm on that day. And there was nothing unusual for a storm to come to the Sea of Galilee. It was surrounded by mountains and valleys, and it was notorious for vicious storms. And as I read about it, it said that Mount Hebron had snow on it, and sometimes when the cold came down from Mount Hebron and the heat came from the other way and hit together, it just created a storm. And what we need to understand is it wasn't that anybody was in the wrong place. It was just something that would happen. Storms in our lives. Storms in our lives. And there are a few lessons that we can learn from this text. The first is storms will come. Let me try that again because I didn't hear the sufficient number of amens of those who have lived through that. Let me try it again. Storms will come. And it sounds so basic, doesn't it? You know, it sounds so basic. It sounds elementary, rudimentary, yeah. But storms still coming. And there are so many Christians who do not seem to understand or embrace the fact just because you're a Christian don't mean storms ain't coming in your life. We're reminded in 1 Peter 4:12, and it says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trials which is to try you as though some strange thing has happened to you. You act like you're the only person in the world that ever been through something. The only person in the world that's ever hurt. Anybody here hurt so bad you ran out of tears? Hurt so long you couldn't explain the hurt. Friends and family look at you like you lost your mind. People telling you by now you should have gotten over that, and you are just starting on your hurt.
I got it.
Storms. And sometimes the storms is the insensitivity of people around you who don't understand how bad you hurt. Storms. The disciples seemed to be shocked that they were in this position because they were disciples of Christ. Wasn't Jesus with them? Weren't they the ones who were following God's plan? Hadn't they just held? If you go back a little bit in the text, you find that they had just held the revival on the lakeside. And the scripture tells us that there were a multitude that had come and gathered around when Jesus was preaching. They had just had a high time in the Lord. And now they're in a storm. You just came to church and shouted all over the building and go into a storm. How could this happen to us? Many Christians respond with the same element of confusion when storms come into our lives. Didn't we do everything that God told us to do? Isn't God supposed to cover me? Didn't he say he would cover me with his wings? Doesn't God protect